So watch this video if you love double-breasted jackets, but definitely watch this video if you don't like double-breasted jackets, because we're going to change your mind.
Well, Chris, as you can see, we have a double-breasted jacket here. It's one of my personal favorite styles, and I'm curious how it fits into your wardrobe and how you might style it, and let's just break it down.
I'm a big fan of double-breasted. When I first got into tailoring, it was the 80s and double-breasted dominated. So the nicest suits, the best styles were all double-breasted. I think my first 4 or 5 suits were double-breasted. And even though it went out of favour in the 90s, I never let it go. I've always had an element of double-breasted in my wardrobe. Usually a blazer. I think a double-breasted blazer was always the classic blazer over a single-breasted. It was like the navy version with the gold button.
Of course.
But also, for an evening suit, I think a double-breasted dinner suit or dinner jacket is very elegant. But I've also like just having a double-breasted suit as part of my wardrobe.
You know, a lot of guys start with the single-breasted and then graduate to double-breasted, and that's sort of my story as well. And now it's my preferred sense of style. I wear it pretty classically. I also like to experiment and wear it in a more contemporary manner, a much more casual, dressed down manner. So I think there's actually a lot that you can do with the double-breasted jacket that just feels right for most occasions these days.
No, sure. I think the reason the double-breasted has come back over the last few years is how we've gone away from the skinny look, because if you're selling, as the high street was obsessed with, these ultra short jackets, ultra skinny lapels, these jackets with tiny little shoulders, double-breasted is the opposite of that. You can't really do skinny double-breasted. Double-breasted always looks better with properly proportioned lapels, decent jacket lengths. A skinny double-breasted, I think someone probably tried it, but it never really worked for me.
No, and double-breasted tends to flatter and fit, I think, most people, especially if you're a larger guy, if you're more broad across the chest or you have a little bit more of a belly. You know, just looking at this double-breasted jacket here, I think there's actually a lot going on with this that makes it really easy to wear in contemporary. So, I mean, I think most obvious is maybe the color.
The color is fantastic. I love these biscuity tones at the moment. They go so well with flannels, jeans. Yeah, it's a really good neutral color, most colorings. And as we've just found out, who had fun styling this outfit, they go with so many different sort of textures. What I like about this is that when you see most sports jackets in these sort of beiges and biscuit tones, they tend to look a bit countrified, whereas by making it double-breasted, it's a lot more urban.
Yeah.
This I think you'd wear in the centre of London with some grey flannels and some brown suede shoes and with a tie. You don't look like you should be in the countryside, whereas a lot of sports jackets, lots of odd jackets are tweedy and tend to have that hint of country about them, whereas this is very much an urban look.
Yeah, and it's very well proportioned. You'll see a lot of double-breasted jackets, I think, really play into the flamboyance of the style with the big bellied lapels and you know, the lapels that sort of come up over the shoulder. If you're gonna go with a double-breasted jacket, I mean, particularly if it's one of your first in your wardrobe, you want something well proportioned. It's just, you're gonna get more miles out of it.
I think by proportion, what you're saying is the buttoning point. So go for something which buttons around the waist. There are different styles of double-breasted, and I like them. I've got a lot of jackets, a lot of double-breasted, and you can get some which are very high buttoning, very low buttoning. If you're not sure, something that buttons around the waist, which should be pretty much the top button of a 2-button single-breasted jacket, it gives you the easiest silhouette to fit into.
Yeah, and I'm happy you mentioned the waist, because we see different button configurations on double-breasted. Here you have a 4-1, you have a 4x1, so 4 buttoned just once.
No, try again.
What would you call this?
Well, we haven't done it up, but there's a second button that can be done up there. Just because it hasn't been done up doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
No, but I would call that, because you would tend to just button this at the top button, right? So you would go for a 4x1.
It doesn't make it a 4x1.
Would you call it a 4x2?
I'd call that a button 2 show 2 in England.
Well, we're getting quite technical with this.
It's a button 2 show 2 in a Savile Row English sense.
Yeah.
If
maybe in Italian or American.
They'd call it a 2-on-4.
Yeah.
Because it's button 2, so it's 2 buttons.
See, I'm happy that we're talking about this, because at least with my understanding, I would have called this a 4x1, but there is obviously distinction depending on...
A 1-on-4, I hope I haven't lost you now. A 1-on-4 would be, let's pretend this button here didn't work.
Okay.
That would be a 1-on-4,
which
I would call a button 1 show 2.
But then you also see DBs with 6 buttons.
You do. I mean, the most popular sort of city configuration would be the same 4 buttons at the bottom.
Yep.
But what they have is they have 2 buttons above the waist,
Yep.
slightly spaced out, which we call show buttons. So that would be the classic 6 button, which I would call a button 2 show 3, or they would call it a 4 on 6 or a 2 on 6, depending on which factory you're dealing with.
And the only other detail I think that we haven't really talked about here is the ticket pocket on DB. You don't.
I can't see it. You have to take
It's
your
on
word
this
for
side.
it.
You don't always see that on a double-breasted.
I've got a chest pocket.
You got the chest pocket, which
That's
I
fair.
can only see it because of the poofy pocket square sticking out. But the ticket pocket, I mean, you don't always see it on DB. You want to talk about, I mean, is the ticket pocket formal? Is it informal? Is it relevant these days?
It's an informal detail because it comes from country and sports clothes.
Yeah.
But having said that, you do sometimes see it on formal wear, and it's not incongruous.
No, yeah, I mean, I see it on a lot of tailoring these days, formal or informal.
I think it looks
quite
nice.
yeah.
I like because this is a plain cloth.
Exactly.
And you don't have the show buttons. It's a nice attention to detail. It's a nice sort of bespoke look on a ready-to-wear garment. So how we've started here is with a classic light blue shirt and a woolen tie with some sort of warm tones in it. And then the pocket square really pops. So I think this is a really smart, elegant way of dressing up this type of jacket. What do you think of this combination?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, we styled it, so we obviously, I think, are partial to it, but it's easy with the double-breasted, I think, in tailoring generally just to slap on a white shirt, maybe a red tie or a blue tie and call it a day. But here we're playing with a little bit of color, and I think we're trying to bring some energy, to the overall look. And we've anchored it with the classic blue shirt, but we punched it up with the pocket square and an interesting tie with those warm hues that you were talking about. So for me, I mean, this is a really, really nice way to style a classic look, but maybe in a more contemporary way that's able to sort of move from, setting to setting, maybe a more formal setting to something a little bit more casual. I think it's a very fluid look here.
I would wear this to an occasion where perhaps I might have worn a suit and still feel quite dressed up.
Yep.
So in a way that if I had a tweed jacket on or a check jacket on, I feel probably a little bit dressed down. This is quite smart. It's probably smarter than most people's suits.
Here we have styled a DB, I think, in a way that is contemporary, comfortable, and frankly, in a way that every guy should be styling a DB these days, full stop.
Agreed.
This is a nice way to, I think, just wear a double-breasted differently for a lot of reasons. I mean, you have an open neck, you have some complementary colors that play well together.
You've got the chambray texture.
Yeah, I mean, the chambray with the sort of biscuity tone of the jacket.
It's great together, especially
just
all,
a classic.
All put together here with the nice pocket square. So no, it's a really good, strong look.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm a big fan of dressing down, DBs, and I think a chambray is, I don't know if it's unexpected these days or becoming more in the norm, but it's a nice sort of play between a pretty casual shirt and a more, dressed up
I think the
jacket.
slightly smarter collar also plays with formality as well. So I think if it was a button down, for me, it'd be a bit too far.
Yeah.
But the semi sort of spread collar, open neck with a slightly washed out look is a good look. So I am a big fan of putting knitwear with tailoring, and this is a great look. A simple black roll neck with the camel coat. To me, it gives it quite an evening-y vibe. So if you're going out maybe for a Christmas party or a cocktail evening, but it wasn't formal, you want to look dressed for the evening, this with some dark trousers, some suede loafers, fantastic look.
Fantastic. I mean, talk about versatile and chic, all at the same time. I was thinking the same thing. I would wear this out if I'm going, to dinner with friends. This is a look that I would throw on a pair of dark gray or charcoal trousers and, like you said, suede loafers. I mean, you have a very easy to wear, comfortable and chic outfit.
But you could also play around with different colours roll necks. I mean, we've done black here because we wanted to sort of emphasise the fact that you can wear this colour in the evening. But you can imagine this in like a dove grey, ecru, dark blue,
gorgeous, yeah.
And just really change the look. So I think there's something about this colour double-breasted with a piece of really good knitwear. It's such a smart look. So thank you for watching. Hope we've inspired you to consider double-breasted if you're not a double-breasted wearer. So make sure you subscribe. And why should they subscribe?
Because if they love DBs as much as we do, there's more content to come, and we know that you're going to want to learn about it.